Hey, what's going on, guys? Mike here. Today, I thought we would do a little update on Jeff, my girlfriend's betta fish. It's been a long time since you guys have seen him, and I thought today would be the perfect day to come out here, check him out, see how the tank has changed a little bit, what we're gonna be doing to improve his setup a little bit, and then talk about why I think everybody should have at least one betta fish in their fish room or wherever. I also timed this video perfectly with the release of some Jeff-inspired betta t-shirts, so check the link down in the description. Let me know what you guys think of them. Maybe it's something that you've been looking for. Before we do any maintenance here on Jeff's little tank, let's go ahead and feed him some bloodworms. And you can see that I put the cutting board behind there. I'm fighting the difference in the lighting here outside and inside, but let's go ahead and give him some bloodworms. See how he does with those. He's been getting just the regular betta food that pretty much everybody has. So he should really appreciate these bloodworms. And I gave him a little bit too many, but again, we're gonna be changing the water here and doing some other stuff, so we can scoop out any residuals that he ends up not eating. Jeff is still here in the 2.5 gallon aquarium that we set up for him. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link for it down in the description as well, so you can check it out. But yeah, I mean, he's just been here hanging out on the windowsill for a couple months now. His fins are still regrowing. It's a long process, but he's doing really well. And you know, he's swimming around. He's just overall a really happy fish now. If you guys did watch that previous video, you'll notice that the tank has changed a little bit. We took a few things out and we put a few other things in. So before we had that large piece of driftwood that was in here with the peace lily in the center, which is right here. That's obviously no longer in the aquarium. I wanted to give Jeff a little bit more swimming room. I think he appreciates that. And so the other thing is that we moved the rocks around and I sort of smoothed out the edges of the dragonstone. Betta fish don't like, or they're gonna run into things, and so because their finnage is so big and they're just sensitive in general, you don't want to have sharp things in the aquarium. Some of the tips of the dragonstone were a little, they can be pointy, so I went through and sort of shaved down this rock. I mean, it's basically clay, so that's pretty easy to do. So all good there. And then we added some dwarf sage, and this dwarf sage is actually doing pretty well. I mean, it's been in here for like 2 months, I think, and it hasn't grown a ton, but it definitely has grown. There is new growth on this stuff. The leaves are starting to pull up, get a little tall, and I think that could, make this aquarium look pretty good in the long run. We still have the moss balls in here, of course, the big algae balls, and it looks like we actually have one over here in the old tequila bottle, so go figure. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there are any plans to put any more plants in this aquarium, except for some Sylvinia, which we have down here. Once we do a water change on his tank, then we'll put that in there. And then, yeah, I think, Jeff's just gonna hang out here by the window. The window is been an interesting place for the tank. I mean, that's the light source for the plants in here, and everything's worked out pretty well. Algae on the glass is definitely something that happens frequently, and so we have a little magnet, a little mag float here to clean that glass. The back is a little bit harder to reach. Just get in there with a sponge and clean it up about, once a week, and it's not much of an issue. So here's the deal. I think that everybody who's into fish keeping should have at least one betta fish. And I know I don't have one right now. Spoiler alert, they're coming. They're gonna make a big show up in the aquarium office here very soon. But I think everybody should have one for a couple reasons, and one is just they have personality. A lot of freshwater fish don't have a lot of personality, guys. I'm sure that you know this if you have a couple tanks, or even if you have one tank with a couple different fish. A lot of freshwater fish, they just kind of do the same thing. But bettas, they have a little bit more character to them. They definitely like to swim around in odd places and try and fit their way through things. That can be fun to watch. It's also really fun to watch them go and make bubble nests. I mean, they do a lot of really cool stuff up at the top of the water. Having lily pads in your aquarium can be something cool to watch too. They'll try and swim up and get on top of them and rest a little bit. And so that's a really cool thing. These guys have personality. I think that can add a lot to your hobby, and it can make you just more interested in fish in general. And the other reason is by getting a betta fish, you save them from a life in a cup. And so, every time I go to Petco, which isn't, super often, whenever I need to get a tank for $1 a gallon, basically, or get some emergency fish food, it sucks to see them in the cups. If you go there and you buy a couple of them, at least you're going to be helping them out, increasing you know, their quality of life, and, you know, give them a little home like this. It doesn't need to be a huge tank. This tank still isn't ideal. In my opinion, I'd like to be at twice as big. A 5-gallon tank would be a perfect little starter betta fish setup, but, you know, just think about it. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Let's go ahead and do some tank maintenance here. We're gonna drain the water down, do a little water change, clean some algae off of the glass, go through and flip the moss balls over, and kind of go through and, you know, kick up some stuff by the dwarf sage. Alright, so Jeff's tank has got his little water change. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the Sylvinia, the floating plant. I think this is going to be a nice little addition to his tank. You know, it's not like duckweed. It's super easy to get rid of if you end up not wanting it. So we're going to put that in there, give him a little bit of cover. Since he's over here by the window, I think that he'll like that. This stuff should grow really, really quick in here, and then I can just get some more of it. Get out of there. All right, we'll spread that out a little bit, get everybody facing up, and there we go. Another really good piece of equipment for a tank like this, if it's not by a window and you need an artificial light source, is a Phoenix Stingray clip-on LED, and so that's the one that I have over on the 3-gallon tank that we recently did, and I'm really liking those. It'd be perfect for growing the little plants we have in here, and as well as lighting up the tank. Another good idea for a betta tank and a lot of other fish that you keep is to have a lid on your aquarium. And so, betta fish are jumpers. A lot of you guys were hounding me in the setup video that, hey, you didn't put a lid on it, that's not a good idea, your fish is going to jump out. And you're totally not wrong, but Jeff has been here without a lid for 2 months. He hasn't tried to jump out of the tank. Well, I mean, he hasn't actually jumped out of the tank. Who knows if he's tried or not, but I did err on the side of caution, and I have a 2.5mm piece of glass. You can get them at Home Depot for super cheap. I cut it so that it fits on the top with a space in the back to, let air in. Because we don't have any water surface agitation up here, I'm a little skeptical to close it completely off. But I don't think, based on Jeff's behavior as an individual, I don't think he's going to be trying to get out of the tank. But it's always good to have that peace of mind. I also wanted to mention the sink again, guys, because this is like the most convenient place to have a little tank. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty jealous. It's so easy to do water changes. It's right there. If you wanted to do cup changes, or like I did, I had the siphon just boom right down into the sink. It makes everything so much easier. So don't discredit the window tank. I think it might be a good idea for a lot of people. I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check the link in the description for all the little things that we use in Jeff's tank, as well as the link for the betta t-shirts. Let me know what you guys think of those. And hey, get ready, get excited, because I'm making some big progress on a few of the tanks that are going to be featured kind of alongside with the aquarium office. The aqua office, I don't know what to call it. Also, let me know what you think we should call that in the description below. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.